Earlier today, the House Oversight Committee and the House Committee on Oversight and Reform held its second hearing on the events of January 6th. Ranking member James Comer opened the hearing by accusing Democrats of holding a partisan show hearing that's unlikely to uncover any new information.
Under the leadership of Democrats, this committee is not about finding the truth. It's not about conducting meaningful oversight. It's only about politics. It's past time, Democrats, to get back to this committee's mission of identifying and preventing government waste, fraud, abuse, and mismanagement, and ensuring the federal government is effective, efficient, transparent, and accountable to the American people. Today's partisan hearing fails our committee's mission. The American people deserve answers about the attack on the U.S. Capitol and expect transparency and accountability from their leaders. But sadly, today's hearing shows Democrats continue to prioritize politics over the American people.
With me now to talk about the hearing is Congressman Andy Biggs from Arizona, who serves on the House Committee. Congressman, welcome back to Washington Watch.
Thanks, Joseph. Good to be with you.
We heard the remarks of Ranking Member Comer there. What was your reaction to the hearing today?
Well, my remarks focused on if you really want to get to the truth, they've got to stop lying to the American people, that they've distorted January 6th and the events of January 6th and tried to make them the narrative. It is a ridiculous, false narrative that they've created, and it's done for political purpose. That's what I and I showed instance after instance where they have lied to different people that are demonstrable. So that's really what I was trying to get at is, if you want the truth, quit lying.
Can you give us some examples of what you said during the committee today of the dishonesty that you've seen?
Yeah, absolutely. So pre-January, they lied about Lafayette Park, that Trump had it cleared so he could get a photo. The Inspector General said no. Everything was done, that was just a fabrication and a lie. So one thing pre, and then when we started getting to January 6th, they've said they actually used as part of their impeachment. They said that Trump supporters came into the Capitol and killed a police officer with a fire extinguisher by bludgeoning him in the head. That was page 28 of their pretrial memo. The reality is that never happened. That was just a lie, a fabrication, and the media helped them concoct it. So those are two things right there. And there's a whole series of things. The zip tie guy, that's not true. I mean, even the prosecutor in that case wrote a memo to the judge saying, no, he did not come into the Capitol with zip ties. The Department of Justice official said there is no evidence that anybody was trying to have find and kill or assassinate anybody. But that's all you hear about from the Democrats, and it's being done because they're not being questioned on it enough.
And I think the motives for why you would want to misrepresent the events of that day and make them bigger than they may in fact be are pretty clear. It's a great opportunity for them to try to demonize their political opponents as not simply political opponents, but dangerous people to the safety of our country. But this is one of many hearings that have happened on Capitol Hill that have asked the public to focus on the events of January 6th. Are we learning anything new in these repeated hearings?
Well, you're not learning much, except for you are learning that Director Wray said he can't call it an insurrection because it didn't meet the legal definition of an insurrection. He's also identified that most of the people that were here were peaceful, and that there were some people here that were just milling around. They violated trespass laws, but there was a small group of people that caused all the violence and the problems. So you're actually starting to get some of that truth out there, but you're not reading that in the press on the left. You're not seeing it on TV, and certainly the Democrats are ignoring that.
Well, I want to switch gears for a moment because it's a minor, but it might be a significant thing. Nancy Pelosi has changed the mask rules at the House of Representatives. What has changed? Have the facts changed that led her to change the rules, or was something else going on there?
No, it's hard to say what her motivations are. I mean, we simply just don't know what goes through her mind. I mean, the science is pretty clear. You don't need to find out if somebody's inoculated, because if you had the shot, guess what? supposedly they're not going to get the COVID again. So it doesn't matter whether you had the shot or not. You don't have to wear masks in an environment such as ours. And so I don't know. It's just, for her, this has always been about control, and that's where they are. They're still trying to control us, and you're seeing this on institutions throughout the country, and it's a crying shame that we've seen so much of our freedom be attacked because of the abuse of COVID rules.
One other issue that you are leading on, you have introduced a resolution to clarify or to say that the national debt is a matter of national security. Why is it that you think that? What's motivated you to do that?
Well, first of all, because there's just a handful of us that actually care about the national debt here. And most people here now believe that it's not a problem at all, so they can just spend as much as they want. But you're seeing the impacts of inflation when you spend wildly and crazy. The second thing is the debt and the interest that we pay on it is starting to crowd out normal government functions that we would otherwise have assets and revenue to pay for. And if inflation continues, and if there's a measure by the Fed to increase the prime interest rate, that means that at half a point you could almost double how much we're paying. That means that if you have a national security issue that you have to take care of, you don't have the funds to deal with it. And the second thing is you actually we've started the devaluation of our currency. All that's because we go with the national debt. It's just outrageous.
If it is such a big issue, why is it not getting more attention on the Hill?
Because everybody, except for a few of us, like to spend as much money as they can.
Well, I think that's the short but sadly correct answer. Congressman Andy Biggs, thank you so much for your time and your efforts on the Hill for all of us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Joseph. Thank you.